This is Michael Woodward, and this is episode 47 of the Jumble Think podcast.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Jumble Think podcast, a podcast focused on telling the stories of dreamers, makers, innovators, and influencers. Along the way, we'll give you some tips and tricks that you can use to chase your big idea or dream and create the world you want to live in. On today's episode, we have Tim Rhode. It's going to be an awesome episode. More about Tim in a moment. On Thursday's episode, we have another incredible guest. His name is Steve Cesari. He is a consultant, author, speaker, and coach. On Thursday's episode, we have another incredible guest. His name is Steve Cesari. He's a consultant, author, speaker, and coach. He spent 40 years in business where he started or owned 15 companies. He's worked with companies like GoPro, Juiceman, Sonicare, George Foreman Grills, OxyClean, The Rug Doctor, Chick-fil-A, the Atlanta Falcons, Auto Trader, Toronto Blue Jays, Seattle Mariners, Seahawks. You get the idea. The guy is awesome. You're not going to want to miss this episode. A lot of great stuff in it. Jumble Think is all about helping you, the listener, chase your big idea and dream. One way we do that is through our podcast. Another way we do that is through One Tip Friday. Every Friday on Facebook and on Instagram, we post a new video that gives you one tip on how you can chase your big idea and dream. It's a simple step you can take, and it makes it really tangible to create that dream you have. Swing on over to jumblethink.com and you can find the links to our Instagram and Facebook page. Follow us and like us there, and every Friday, you'll get that new video giving you that tip. Now let's jump into our interview today with Tim Rhode. On today's episode, our guest is Tim Rhode, really cool guy. He's the founder of One Life Fully Lived, full of energy, full of creative ideas. His motto is dream it, plan it, live it. Tim, I'm super excited to have you on the podcast. How you doing today?
I'm fantastic, Michael. Thanks for having me on your show. I look forward to helping people dream it, plan it, live it.
Well, I'm excited for you to share what you're doing. Before we dive into One Life Fully Lived, which is an organization which you founded, I want to talk a little bit about your backstory because it really plays into where you are today and what you're creating. Tell us a little bit about who you are and how you navigated your journey to where you are today.
Well, who I am today is way different from where I started. I'm living a magnificent life full of adventure, abundance. I'm looking out my front window right now at the mountains near Lake Tahoe, and I spend my time getting the goods in the woods, running our nonprofit, and the leader of our family, tight-knit family, all live close together. And I focus a little bit on finances and investing, but not so much anymore. And it wasn't always this way. I got off to a really late start in life. I was the kid in the back of your class throwing spitwads at you, not paying attention, just doing anything but learning the periodic tables and all the other crap I just didn't see why I needed to know. So during high school, I was the lovable loser in the back of your class. Consequently, at age 25, I'm a part-time grocery clerk painting addresses on people's curbs to buy diaper money for my then 3- and 1-year-old kids. So I really got off to a late start, Michael.
Yeah, you mentioned that you're kind of the class clown growing up. You're in, everyone loves them but doesn't want to be them. You transitioned into pursuing your dream, which involved the world of real estate. How did you get to the point where you realized where I'm at isn't where I want to be?
Boy, I think it's a necessity. It's called looking up at the end of the month and there just wasn't enough money coming in, and just realizing, boy, am I living short of what my talents are. And I think those two things coupled together drove me to get my real estate license. And then as soon as I got my license and started selling, I quickly realized, my goodness, I have found my niche. I've been a salesperson without a product for years. And consequently, I just took off. I sold I held an open house my first weekend in real estate. I sold it. They needed to list a home. I listed their home
Wow.
for sale. I took some other buyers out and I sold them a home. So I did 3 transactions my first weekend, and it led to my averaging 15 to 18 deals every month consistently for 18 years.
That's
So
crazy.
yeah, I was pretty I was a late bloomer, but once I found my niche, I got rocking and rolling pretty easily.
So you've done the real estate thing and you've been incredibly successful at it. You found your niche there, and now you're starting something completely different. Tell us about One Life Fully Lived.
Well, One Life Fully Lived was the creation that I did about 6 years ago. It's a 501c3 nonprofit, and it's all about helping people dream, plan, and live their best lives. Because I got off to such a slow start, it helped me realize that many people just aren't living the lives they're supposed to. And just looking around and seeing a lot of my friends hurting, and seeing people just not living the life they were put here to experience. So we started with a small conference in my little town of Portola, California. We had 92 people here, and some good friends helped me rock the conference. And since then, that was 2011. We've just grown this slowly, organically into a beautiful community. We call ourselves One Lifers, and we know who we are, what's our plan, where we're going with all of this, and we want to put the oxygen mask on ourselves to get somewhere in life, and then help our friends, family, community, and ultimately humanity live the best life we can possibly live.
Well, I want to ask you a question because it really stood out to me. You set this up as a nonprofit. Why a nonprofit, and why not a corporation or a business type instead?
You know, that's funny. Somebody told me I was at a get together a week or two ago. They go, "I just don't believe in nonprofits. Everything should be for a profit." And it's funny. It was one of those 52 to 48 things when I was starting it. I wanted people to believe that I'm truly doing this because it's a heart-centered mission, that there was nothing in it for me. And someday this is going to be, in my mind, a billion-dollar enterprise. We're going to take this places. We're going to help 10 million people worldwide do our My One Life roadmap, and get the necessary tools to make their lives better. And I'll never get a dime from it. I don't take a salary. I pay my own way to get places. And
Wow.
yeah. So people have a tough time believing we're real, that there's nothing up our sleeve, that there's nothing further to buy except into your own life.
Yeah, and like there's this real shift in civilization. It used to be that we looked up to our leaders, whether it's clergy in the church, whether it's government leaders, whether it's business owners. Those were the heroes for a long time, and we've had this shift where all of a sudden a lot of those people have become the villains. And unfortunately, there's a lot of great people in those mixes that get overlooked because they do have a heart of gold. They're doing the right things. They're doing that. And it taints things like what you're doing, where they go, what is the motive of why you're doing this? And unfortunately, people sometimes read into that, and that's sad.
Yeah, it is sad, but what's really cool is all they need to do is look at the people who are in our community, who are out there, playing their games full out every day. And if you just watch these people, you can see they're getting up earlier, they're eating better, they're exercising more, they're reading the right books, they're doing all the things behind the scenes that make a successful person. And when you do all the shoulds, you get the goods in life. And that's what we find in the One Life community, is people are doing the shoulds and they're enjoying the fruits of their labor.
One of the things you mentioned is that there is this One Life roadmap. What is the roadmap and how does it play into the program that you've created?
Sure. It's the backbone of everything we teach at One Life Fully Lived. When I first started One Life, I thought of, first of all, it was the thought process, if it is to be, it's up to me. And just taking personal responsibility for your life. And then I started thinking, well, what do people need to know when they get out in the quote real world? What do I want to prepare my kids for? And if they're listening right now, they're rolling their eyes because my kids have heard this since they were babies, just over and over. And here's what we teach at One Life Fully Lived. Here's the backbone of the One Life teachings, my One Life roadmap. It's who am I at my core? What's my dream or purpose for my life? What's my plan? What's my written plan to get there? How will I fund it? And I want to touch on this more, including the financial ABCs one needs to master to get somewhere in life. And the last piece is, how will I be healthy enough in my mind, body, and spirit to pull off this magnificent life I was supposed to live? So these are our core teachings. Who am I? What's my dream? What's my plan? How will I fund it? And how will I be healthy enough to pull it off? Everything we do, all of our conferences, our Dare to Dreams, everything is based off this core teaching. And we would love for your listening audience to go to onelifefullylived.org and download the roadmap and take our course and do our teachings. We have a do-it-yourself course, and we have a live course that we get a group of people doing them together, and it's fantastic.
You mentioned that the roadmap starts with figuring out who you are, your identity. Why is that the foundation for dreaming? Because we've heard that from different people. The more I study it, the more I realize identity and understanding yourself is the foundation. Why do you think it is?
Well, first of all, think of the consequences of not doing this. Michael, we all know people who look up in their lives and they're 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and they've never asked this question. And let's take somebody who's 39 years old, they're about to turn 40, and they're stuck in a job they hate. They've got debt coming out their ears, and they're just trapped in this world that they've created that they don't like. And they just look up and they're not living a purposeful life full of adventure and abundance, the life they're meant to live. And I think it's because they didn't reverse engineer their life starting off early. And that's what the roadmap does, is it kind of has you look at, who am I at my core? Where do I want to go with all of this? And then if you know who you are, and these are the questions you ask. Do I like to be indoors, outdoors, by myself, with others? Do I like to talk? Do I like to think? Do I like to write? Do I like to, these are some of the clues that allow us to live the life of intention we're supposed to live. And let me give you a good example. That first weekend in real estate, boom, it was on. Here is an individual living their purpose. And I love to talk to people. I love real estate. I love getting out and seeing homes. I was living within my purpose. And unfortunately, too few people are spending the bulk of their day, their work, doing what they want to do. So that's why that who am I question is so very important.
I think that's really, really powerful. You also mentioned the importance of finances and how they play into creating and living the life you dream of. Why are finances so important? What do people need to be aware of with finances, and how can they take control of that?
Michael, this is the backbone of One Life Fully Lived, is the financial ABCs. A is what's coming in every month. B is what am I spending every month? And C is what's left over, unfortunately, for far too many debt reduction, but hopefully for investing. So mastering your financial ABCs is key to creating your One Life Fully Lived. And then you look at, how can I increase my A? How can I have more money coming in every month? Most people look at, well, I'll get a bigger paycheck. That's called vertical income. In our community, We believe in horizontal income. We want a lot of paychecks. We have people in our community with more than 100 paychecks coming in every month. I personally have probably around 25 to 30 coming in every month without working. Okay. So this is passive income coming in, income streams that we've created by our own ingenuity, if you will, all legal, moral, ethical, by the way. Everything we do is above board. So A, you get a bigger paycheck. B, you look at or more paychecks. B, you look at what's going out from all sources and look for your leakage. Where am I wasting money? And C, you look at how can I invest wisely to create those multiple streams of income to where you don't have to work anymore. Michael, are you familiar with Robert Kiyosaki and his game called Cash Flow?
I am, actually.
This is kind of the backbone of getting somewhere with One Life Fully Lived. And some of our other communities like GoBundance and M1 and some of the Miracle Morning and some of the people that hang out planets in the same solar system, that Kiyosaki cash flow game is the essence of what we're trying to do. In this game, when you're passive income, I called it horizontal income before, your paychecks that come in from, let's say, notes, rentals, dividends, things like that, things that money that comes in without you working, when your passive income is bigger than what your monthly expenses are, you get to turn over in the game, you get to turn over your card and be on the fast track. In real life, you get to turn over your life's game board and live in a completely different world. And I told you, I got off to a really late start at 25 years old, part-time grocery clerk, painting addresses on people's curbs for diapers. By 40, I had turned my life's game board over. And from 40 to 50, I got to be a ski bum. I got to do what I chose to do because I created so much passive income coming in that it well eclipsed what it cost me to live a month. And I got to choose what I got to do for the rest of my life.
I think one of the things that is important to ask with what you're doing is, how do we need to look at defining success? I mean, in a social environment where we're involved in technology, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, places like that, it's really easy to see people from the outside and gauge success by the things and everything like that. But I know that even in some of your teachings, you've mentioned, even when you have more money, you still live small, so that you can grow into the dreams that you have. What would you encourage people to really rethink success as?
What an incredibly thoughtful question. This tells me a lot about you, Michael. I appreciate this question because in One Life Fully Lived, we don't define what your success is. As long as it's legal, moral, and ethical, we want you to define your own One Life Fully Lived. And if you want a good laugh, Google One Life Fully Lived High Sierra Music Festival.
Okay.
And we did check it out. We went to a music festival 5 years ago, and we asked the One Life question: where do you see yourself in 5 years? How will your life be different? And we got some incredible answers at a music festival. There was a guy who was going to be a brain surgeon. There were a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of people going to get their masters at university, and a lot of different ideas. One guy said, we said, where do you see yourself in 5 years? He said, oh, I don't want to tell you, man. You'll just laugh. And I go, no, we want to go. We want to know. He said, you promise you won't laugh? Yeah, sure. I want to be living in the trees in Mendocino, man. That was his dream.
Yeah.
Was living in the redwoods in Mendocino. And he became our epitome of we don't care what your idea of One Life Fully Lived. How are you going to eat? How are you going to get dry clothes? What are you going to do when it storms? These, the logistics of living in a tree in Mendo, man. If that's your idea of success, we're all for it. You're not hurting anybody by doing that. So how do you do it? Quit talking. How are you going to fund it? How are you going to be healthy enough to pull it off? One Life is about quit talking and start doing. That's success.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and it's kind of interesting, kind of pulling in from a different sphere. You got the tiny house movement going on, and it's people going, I just want to live what the life I want to live and free myself up. So it sounds like one of the things that you're really encouraging people to do is instead of taking the cultural norms of like, I've got to have this and this and this and this, really step back and say, what are the things that bring you joy and fulfillment, and measure your own success instead of looking out and measuring success of others.
This is spot on. You know what we want people to do, Michael, is to think, is to go deep, to really. There's a lot in our community surrounded by inner peace and meditation and yoga and that softer, almost feminine side, if you will, of really going deep of who am I? What makes me happy? Me personally, I live in the boonies in the middle of nowhere. I mean, I got to drive 5 miles to go to a restaurant or a store.
Yeah.
And what a beautiful drive it is. I'll probably see more deer, coyotes, and game than I will see people. And this is my idea of one life fully lived. Many would choose to live in the big city, or have a lot more culture, or a lot more of the what they call the finer things in life. To me, the finer thing in life is climbing the mountain behind me and sitting up on a peak and smelling fresh pines. It's free. you know so this has little to do with money, although money, you need it to get you where you want to go. But I love what you said about the tiny house movement. One Life is very green. We're very living lean. We're very recycling and doing all the things that make us feel good as humans, but also are good stewards of our planet. And it's a light, uh, light footprint on the universe. And the only place we want a heavy footprint is when we inspire those. We want people to see by our actions, not by our words, that we're good people. We do the right things. We're not look at me, yippee, am I great? No, we're just quiet behind the scenes, effectively living purposeful lives of designed by ourselves.
Well, let's dive a little bit off topic here. You mentioned the green movement. You mentioned environmentally conscious, and I love what you say, because for me, I'm not so worried about global warming and stuff like that. And that sounds weird unless it's followed up with the following statement. It's a matter of stewardship, being wise with what we have, being a good steward of the land we have, of the resources we have, and treating it wisely. And you use that word stewardship, and I think that's the key. If we're doing the best with what we have, if we're figuring out ways to become better stewards of those resources, then we're always improving. So whether global warming is the issue, I think it's more of an issue of stewardship. It's becoming better stewards of the earth we have.
Yeah, I totally concur. It starts with ourselves.
Yeah.
If you think about it, it's being a good steward of your mind, body, and spirit, to have you as healthy. Look at you as a planet, if you will. I know this is we're really getting out there, but to have you as healthy as you can possibly be, and then your walk in this world. Of course, we want to be good stewards and leave the planet better for our kids, grandkids, and future generations. And that comes from taking care of ourselves, our family, our community, and our planet, whether it be in health and fitness, how we are out in the world, and every which way. You just want to be. I remember Tony Robbins said, "Is it good for me? Is it good for those around me? And is it good for humanity?" Those when you make a decision, those are the things you got to look at.
Well, I think that leads to another good question. How do you reconcile humanity and the human? How do we do what's great for us, but also good for humanity? And how can we be aware of that?
I think it goes back to the word think. And when we're young and immature, uh, we basically do things for ourselves. What feels good? What's good for me? And hopefully, as we mature and are around good role models who are teaching the right things, we stop and we reflect before we make decisions. Maybe this is good for me, but it's not as good for my family. It's not as good for my community. It's not as good for humanity. And if you think about all the individual choices we make on a daily basis, should I go out and play? Should I work harder? Should I spend time with my kids? These are all choices we make on a daily basis, and there's no quote right or wrong. But I think as you mature, your choices change. And a good example for me personally is I said I was a ski bum from 40 to 50. It turned out to be a really good thing for me because it led to me creating One Life Fully Lived and another awesome group called GoBundance that I was one of the founders of. And these entities have done tremendous things for humanity. But if I wouldn't have taken those years out for myself to kind of dial my own life in and get me in a position to where I'm able to give and lead movements that help the greater good, then the long haul, it's all worked out wonderful.
You mentioned the importance of being around other people, getting wisdom from other people. Part of the One Life Fully Lived movement is the sustainability of how you're mentoring people. You've built a mentoring program as part of this where you can sign up as a mentor and you can mentor people on this journey. Why is mentoring so important? How does it play into this program? And how do people get involved?
Well, so when you first start out, you're just trying to figure stuff out for yourself, which is only natural. And then as you see success starting to come, you're healthier, you're wiser, you're making more money. People start looking at you going, wow, what are you doing? How's all this stuff happening for you? We have a lot of young people in our community who are under 30 who have multiple streams of income coming in and are doing phenomenal things. And people are starting to look at them going, what in the heck has gotten into you? You are so different.
Yeah.
You look different. You talk different. You act different. You're doing really, really well. I want some of that. Let me add, what's your secret? So it's almost by osmosis. So what happens is the people in our community, they do better, which makes people see that they're doing better, that makes them even want to do better. So everybody's grown. It's this virtuous circle. And we have a unique ecosystem where we have adult conversations about the things that matter. So you naturally grow because you're focusing on the things that matter the most in life. So then people really dial in and go, wow, I want to learn the roadmap. So and I'll get all this even more. So they take the My One Life Roadmap course. They really dial stuff in. They see incredible results. It just all bounces off each other. And now what's really cool is we have like 5,000 of us in the One Life community on Facebook. Number One Life community, One Life
Wow.
community group on Facebook. And now we're going into the inner cities, and we've created a new program called Dare to Dream. And we just did our first Dare to Dream event in Philadelphia, where we brought in over 500 young people, middle school and high schoolers, and taught them, who am I, what's my dream, and what's my plan. And they walked out of there fired up. And we're going to be doing these all over America over time. And we really think we can have an incredible effect on our culture.
Well, share a little bit about some of the events that you're putting on. You just had one in Philadelphia. You have one coming up in Sacramento. Tell us a little bit about those events.
So I told you early on in this interview, we did our first event 6 years ago in Portola, California, with 92 people.
Right.
October 21st and 22nd, we're going to do the 10th conference we've ever done. It'll be the 7th one on the West Coast. We've now done 3 on the East Coast. So this will be the 10th conference we've done in a little over 6 years. And it's going to be amazing. We bring in these incredible keynote speakers. One of them, as an example, is Jeff Hoffman. He's the billionaire founder of Priceline. He should
Oh,
charge
wow.
somewhere between, yeah. I mean, you know how some people are charging 200 grand, 500 grand for speeches. Hoffman should be at least 100 grand. I know Tony's 150 grand. Hoffman not only doesn't charge us, he pays his own way to get here. Our
Wow.
speakers, yeah, they don't charge us. Our speakers don't. They come on their own dime, and so we'll have like 4 keynote speakers, 8 One Life chats, or kind of like TED Talks, over 40 breakout presenters on finances, dreaming, planning, fitness, holistic health. We're all over the map. You just cannot pigeonhole us. Oh, they're all about money. Oh, they're all about health. No, we're all about one life fully lived, whatever that means to you. And we bring in these amazing speakers who come on their own dime. We'll have over 200 apply to speak for these 50 spots.
Wow.
And everybody, yeah, it's amazing what we built up. So this conference I just paid $57.50 to go to a conference like this, $5,750. Ours is around $300. It's 2 days. It includes an incredible evening of brilliance dinner. It's just amazing what we put together. It should cost way more. Just don't even question it. Go to onelifefullylived.org, events, West Coast Conference, sign up, bring the family. We have another piece of this called Next Gen for your youngsters 4 to 12. And we come in all of our conferences, we combine music, movement, and teaching the One Life basics. And people come away just life-changing weekend. October 21st, 22nd, Sacramento, California.
That's really cool. Sacramento's a fun city too, so they'll have fun if they come in for that.
Yep.
You mentioned that you have a self-led program for my One Life roadmap, and you have group. Can you tell us the difference between the two and what someone may benefit from taking the self-led versus the group program?
Sure. The self-led, and both of these are online at onelifefullylived.org.
And what's the cost?
The cost of the self-led is $79, and the cost for the group is $189.
Okay.
Okay. And there's 6 sessions. There's 6 different courses, and I highly recommend, if you can do the times of doing the group, because it's all done on a Zoom call. There's like breakout sessions, and it just goes deeper. The self-led is if you can't make the times, or just don't have the focused time to do it with a group. But I highly recommend doing it with a group. And it's just so much better. You're going to find mastermind buddies that are going to be lifelong friends that you go through this experience together with. Once again, this course should be no less than $500. Everything we do at One Life Fully Live, we try to do it as reasonable as possible. And by the way, on the other side of all of this, if you like what you're hearing and you're looking for a charity to get behind, let it be One Life Fully Lived. We're very worthy. You can tell I don't take any money for this. We want to change humanity. We're going into the inner cities. We're doing a lot of really cool stuff with this. We just want to rock our culture and make it cool to care about one's life. So if you're looking for a charity to get behind, let One Life Fully Live be your charity of choice.
Well, with the group, you mentioned that you're working with other people. You can create mastermind groups. You become lifelong friends with some of these people. Why is accountability so important in pursuing dreams?
It's huge. I don't have the numbers in front of me, At One Life, we say everybody has a dream. Few have a written plan for their dream, and precious few are actually living their dreams. They say if you write down your goals, you're like 50% more apt to get it. If you write down your goals and have somebody hold you accountable, it goes up to like 85 or 90%.
Wow.
So just that combination of writing down your intentions and having people to hold you accountable for them is just enormous. And then think of having individual mastermind buddies within a general community where the whole ecosystem is based on people actually achieving their dreams. Think if you swam in those waters, what your life would be like.
Your program is very much a program. It's my life roadmap. And you talk a lot about the importance of systems on the website and some of your writings on podcasts that you've been a part of. And there's going to be some people who listen and go, I don't want another system. I'm a free spirit and I just kind of float through life and everything's cool. Everything's good. I'll eventually get to my dreams. Why are systems so important to actually reaching and achieving the things that you want to do?
I think, and by the way, I understand that thought process. I'm not a just strict, disciplinarian. Life's got to be tough and it's got to be work. I'm a get the goods in the woods. Love to hang out and just enjoy and free flow as much as the next person. I believe in guidelines, and things that a system to work within, if you will. So if you look at the things that I focus on is and this is earlier on in life. I shouldn't say as much now, more retired, Tim, but back in the day it was family and whatever that means to you, whoever is close in your world. It's finances, it's making sure there's enough money. And I believe I like that free flow idea, Michael, but I believe it's every individual's responsibility to get to their older age financially free. It's up to you to get there. And then the third thing I would focus on is health and fitness. Am I eating the right amount of calories? Am I exercising? Am I working that magic triangle of strength, aerobic endurance, and flexibility? And the fourth one that I'd focus on is just the faith and the whole spirituality. Where am I coming from place? So if you have the family, the fitnesses, the finances, and the faith, and you focus on those four things, great things are going to happen. Those are the boundaries. Excuse me. Those are the guidelines of the places that you want to most operate day in and day out to reach one life fully lived.
I don't think anyone listening would question that you are filled with passion. You can hear it in your voice. You can hear it in your excitement. You can hear it in the way you talk. Why is passion so important in the process of pursuing a life that's fully lived?
Well, first of all, I think one other thing that anybody listening to this can tell is there's authenticity and vulnerability. I know who I am. And this didn't come overnight. All of this took a lot of work. I'm 57 years old, and back when I was 18 years old, I wouldn't given you $1.50 for me. So if you're listening to this and you're still under repair, have hope. And it's not like I'm 57 and all is done. So every day I wake up around, before 5 a.m. Let me at 'em. I'm very excited to get my day going. And I think taking that childlike wonder into every day helps me when the inevitable stuff of life comes up, which we all have to deal with. And I think it's how you react. It's not what happens to you in life, but how you react to it. And when you start off with a childlike curiosity rather than an adult-like know-it-all mindset, that wonder just seems to attract more of the good things in life.
It's really good stuff there. That's really good stuff. We recently had a guest on who said the exact same thing. We got to have that childlike simplicity, that childlike joy, that childlike excitement and adventure and exploration. We got to get back to that as adults and stop being so worried and stressed and focused on doing all this stuff that in the end a lot of it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's so true. I had a guy, he's 81 years old. He's my mentor, Dr. Fred Gross, Grosse. Check him out. He wrote an incredible book called Black Belt of the Mind. He told me instead of 81, he thinks of himself as 61 because it's a much better age to live at. I told him, I'm 57 and I see myself as 8. And I used to be 12, but then I realized, wait a minute, my parents split up at 12. A lot of things went sideways at 12. That was a really rough time. I'm
Wow.
going down to 8. 8 was a great age. I was curious, I was playful, I was joyful, and I'm going to hang out at 8. And the biggest thing is the curiosity piece. And by the way, don't get me wrong, if you meet me in a business meeting, I'm not going to be the 8-year-old. I'm going to be the wise adult, but I'm going to have the curiosity of an 8-year-old. And especially when I'm out playing, I have a childlike wonder, and I choose to go through life in this mindset because when I said it before, when the inevitable stuff of life comes up, I want to approach it from a childlike wonder place, not a grumpy adult. What's wrong with this picture place? I just think you get better results.
Yeah, it's something I'm trying to get better at. It's been an interesting couple years with business and things like that, and there are times where I have to deal with things that aren't things I want to deal with, and I get cranky, and I should step back and just have more fun with it.
Hey, Michael, truth be told, and I talked about authenticity and vulnerability, I struggle with the same thing. And my team will tell you there's times when you just care so much, and
Yeah.
you want things the way you want them, and you're righteous in wanting that, but I'm sure you can relate to, we don't get as good a results when we're just that bull in a china shop that we do when we just take a more relaxed, don't worry about it so much standpoint. Sometimes by just letting it go and not tripping on it, the results seem to work themselves out
Yeah.
better.
Yeah, there's been times where I have to deal with something that it's not something I want to deal with, or something that's fun. Maybe something's broken in a site that we've built, or I have to overcome a problem that I don't know how to solve the problem in writing code or something like that. Sometimes the best thing I can do, just like you said, is step up, take a walk, take a breather, come back and have fresh eyes.
Yeah, totally. Makes a lot of sense.
Before I dive into my rapid fire questions, how can somebody who's resonating with you or this program find and connect with what you're doing?
Sure. The easiest thing is just to send me an email to tim@timrhode.com. That's RHODE, tim@timrhode.com. And just send me an email and tell me, what's on your mind. I get a lot of different emails from people. I love to connect with new people and hear your dreams and just kind of help you with your walk. And especially if what we're doing resonates and you want to jump on board and put the oxygen mask on you and come to our conferences and take our roadmap and teach our roadmap teachings to your community in your area, please do get a hold of me. You can tell I'm passionate about this. We need more foot soldiers in our army. And hey, one other thing I want to say,
Yeah.
that I didn't, and I just want to make sure I get this out, is you said a lot of your listeners are in their 20s and 30s, Michael.
Yeah.
This is my quote. the choices you make in your 20s and 30s about your fitness and your finances, you're either going to hug yourself or curse yourself when you're in your 50s and 60s. And I'm a gray hair now, and I'm very, very glad I've taken good care of myself, and I took good care of myself financially. And if you look up and you're in your 40s and 50s and it's not so much, it's not too late to change. But I'm speaking to all of you 30-year-olds. We talked about this free flow. Man, everything will work out fine. Well, if you're sitting there eating jelly donuts and double ice creams and not paying attention to your finance, let me give you a clue. No, it won't. uh, so anyway, for what it's worth, I hope you listen to this. Take a walk and really think about, where am I at my health and finances? Am I playing my game full out? Where's the leakage? Where could I just give my future a slice? That's all I'm asking. Thank you, Michael.
Yeah, it's really good. Well, let's jump into a couple rapid fire questions. They're questions that I ask every episode, and they're a lot of fun.
Let's go.
What's one suggestion you would give to somebody with a big idea or a dream and they don't know where to start?
Fail forward. Just go. When I started One Life, I had no idea where it was going to be, what it was going to be. It was just something I knew I really wanted. So just fail forward. Number one. Number two, make sure you really want it. Sometimes the best things we do are the things we don't do. So it's hard enough to push one wheelbarrow up a hill.
Yeah.
Really think about it before you start something new. Do I really want to push a new wheelbarrow up a hill? Because that's what it is when you start something.
What's one change in the world around you you'd like to see?
People being mindful about who they are and what's the best course of action for them. Everybody is as we're recording this, there's a lot of angst about the world and politics and leaders and stuff like that. Forget it all. They're going to mess it up no matter what.
Yeah.
Worry about you and the things you can control. That's my thing.
I think that's great. I think that's really good. You are, like you said, you're getting to that gray hair stage. You still got lots of years to go, though. So but you're thinking about maybe this question. What do you want your legacy to be?
I want my legacy to be that I really cared about humanity and that people knew I cared about them living their best life so they'd care about the next person living their best life. If you think about the game A Barrel of Monkeys, that's how we think of ourselves in One Life Fully Lived. You're being lifted by a monkey while you're lifting another monkey. I want to be that monkey in the middle.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah.
I like it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Who or what inspires you?
Yeah, my dad inspired me a lot. There was a gentleman named Dick Prada and another gentleman named Harvey West. These are people who came before me that I just thought were great people that found something they really cared about and went after it with purpose and passion. Gandhi inspired me a lot, and just people that find something, a cause that's bigger than them and put their heart and soul into it.
I think that's good. What are you reading or watching currently?
The favorite book I've read recently is The Untethered Soul by Michael Sanger. I don't know if you know that book.
I've heard of it. I haven't read it yet.
Boy, read that book. It's done me wonders. And I'm not watching I'm watching the Warriors beat the Cavs. Probably already happened by then. Hope so. But I'm being coached by Janai Lane. She wrote a book called SelfLed Instead, and I've been coaching with her. I'm on my second year now, and she's helping me go from such a head-centered bull in the china shop, get her done, to a heart-centered leader that is just more in tune and more imbalanced and doesn't go at 110 or 60, goes more at the flow of the universe, 77. And that ties into the untethered soul. So my whole emphasis right now for me is on heart-centered, more of finding my softer side.
Okay, cool. What's one dream you're still wanting to fulfill in your own life?
It's all about helping humanity. It's getting when we're in multiple countries around the world with our Dare to Dream program, and we have millions of people doing the My One Life roadmap. That's my dream.
Tim, it has been a lot of fun talking to you. I love talking to fellow dreamers and people helping others make that reality true in their lives too. It's been really cool to hear your story and what you're doing. Thanks for being on.
Hey, it's my sincere pleasure, Michael. I appreciate you having me on. Everybody listening to this, go to onelifefullylived.org, sign up for our conferences, sign up for our roadmap, reach out to me at tim@timrhode.com. And Michael, once again, thank you very much for having me on.
I want to thank today's guest, Tim Rhode, for taking time out to share his story and the incredible thing he's creating through One Life Fully Lived. On Thursday's episode, we have Steve Cesari. He is super cool. Consultant, author, speaker, coach. He has worked with companies like GoPro, Juiceman, Sonicare, George Foreman Grills, OxyClean, Rug Doctor, Chick-fil-A, the Seattle Mariners, Toronto Blue Jays, Atlanta Falcons, and so many other great organizations. You're not going to want to miss this episode. We talk about a lot of incredible stuff, and his story will inspire you as you chase your dream. We love hearing and connecting with our listeners, and it's easy to connect. Simply drop us an email at hello@jumblethink.com. I would love to hear what you think of the podcast, how it's impacted your life, or how we can help you on your journey of chasing your big idea and dream. To all of our Canadian listeners, I want to wish you a very happy Canada Day. A couple days late, but we're thinking of you. To our American listeners, have a great 4th of July tomorrow, and go celebrate with some great hot dogs, family, friends, and fireworks. Thanks again for listening. Go chase your big dream, your idea, create the world you want to live in, and really do something incredible with the gifts inside of you. Thanks again for listening. I can't wait to share our next story with you.
Vous verrez comment un simple disque peut aller plus loin que vous ne l'auriez imaginé. Mettez-vous dans une tenue légère. Ôtez tout ce qui peut vous gêner ou tirer votre attention. Cherchez la meilleure position. Les bras et les jambes légèrement espacés. Étirez-vous doucement, mais complètement. En avant, en arrière, sur les côtés. Vous êtes une autre personne. Les mères de famille, les enfants, peuvent également prendre un moment revitalisant. Dans quelques mois, lorsque vous aurez bien saisi la technique et que vous serez maître de votre corps, vous pourrez vous décontracter même en travaillant.